Hello, everyone. We are here at the Creating the Investor Mind podcast, episode 5. I'm so excited, guys. You guys are in for a treat. I want to introduce to you guys my co-host. We have Kiera Burton. She's one of my agents on the team, and we have my other co-host today, Teddy Johnson, who's another agent on the team. And we're so excited because we have a special guest in the house today. All right, we have Mr. Charles Osborne. All right, he is an amazing entrepreneur, and he's going to share with us just amazing gems and tips. So you guys are in for a treat. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about investing in yourself. This is a very important topic, guys. So we're going to be sharing just an important story and tips about the importance and benefits of investing in yourself. So we are so pleased to have you here today.
Thank you.
To share your journey with everyone. And hopefully people watching can kind of walk away going, I can do it too.
Yes.
So we're so happy to have you here
It's
today.
It's an honor to be here with you guys.
So tell us a little bit about Mr. Charles Osborne and your different, journey pretty much to entrepreneurship.
Well, I'm born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. 31 years old right now. God lets me see Wednesday, I'll be 32. I have 3 beautiful kids and 2 boys, 1 girl. And that's really, at the end of the day, to make it plain and simple, that's who I do it for. And to make my mom and dad proud at the end of the day. It's always a journey. I have tattoos on my body, and my granddad is actually the only portrait that I have. He inspired me. At the end of the day, that's all my motivation to keep going on the days that I want to, quit. And I get frustrated with things and aggravated with life, as we all do. I just look down at my arm and look at my motivation and my reason to keep going. And the reason why I started all of it, entrepreneurship is risky. I'll be honest with you. It's risky, and for all entrepreneurs, regardless of whatever level you're on, I commend you. And I just think it's an accomplishment regardless of if your business makes $1,000 or your business makes $10 million. It's all a risk at the end of the day, and we all take that risk. It's not guaranteed to win.
Yes.
What are some challenges that you face? Because you mentioned that you have hard days, and that's when you like to look down at your reminder. So what are some challenges that you come across as an entrepreneur?
Just challenges as far as with growth of business, regardless if you own a clothing store or mortgage firm, or into real estate, or you're a local trainer in a gym. It's always about building and keep on scaling to grow. In entrepreneurship, being self-employed and in business, you never want to stay at the same level. That's the goal, to keep on growing, building wealth and generational wealth. Anybody can make money to pay their bills, but to build generational wealth and to make a better life for your family and yourself and the loved ones around you, the biggest thing is always scaling at the end of the day. And keep on growing.
And it's larger than yourself.
It's
larger. So I think the plight of an entrepreneur is like, okay, you have the vision, you have the idea, but now it's like you're growing it, right? Because this is so much bigger than you. Right, you're employing.
Yes.
You have employees that's, your family is looking at you. You have all these eyes and the pressure of it all.
It's a lot of pressure, and like you said, it's more than just you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times throughout the years I forgot about myself, and sadly to say, lost myself, because you're always contemplating on making sure that the people around you are good, your employees are good, that your family's good, and you forget about yourself. And the pressure of always making sure that you excel and that you produce enough to be able to ensure that lifestyle is maintained. But I think the part that makes it easy for me is that I'm not scared of losing it all at all.
That's awesome.
I can lose it all, and I can tell myself within 6 months to a year, I can get it right back.
That's awesome.
I'll be honest, within the 6 years of entrepreneurship, I've seen the highs of the highs, the lows of the lows, and I tell people nobody should be able to tell when you're very high, because in my book, that's a front runner. Guess what? Good times don't last forever. Everything comes to an end.
That's right.
Everything has an end date. there's going to be a stepping stone in the road to, make you pump your brakes and say, hey, I took you this high, I can take you this low.
That's right. But what you're stating, we did an episode 4 was about the process. And I think what's key is that, okay, fine, you can lose it all because you learned probably along the 6-year journey, the steps, right? So
Yes.
you paid attention, you learned the steps. So therefore, once people understand what got them somewhere, you can say, it's okay. I can do it again, right? Because,
And again,
yeah,
and
and
again,
again,
and
and
again.
again. So I think that's so key, but that's going through the process with your eyes open.
I mean, there's a local pizza shop that I just recently visited, and I met with the owner, and he was in there actually making pizzas and setting customers and everything. And we had a long talk about entrepreneurship, and we just was talking how hard it is to be in business. And he told me, he said, I like you, I trust you for some reason. He said, I'll be honest with you, man, I lost everything 4 times.
Wow.
And here it is, he still has a local, pizza place in downtown Charlotte. And really good pizza as well. I'm not going to call it out because we had, some intimate conversations about business. But at the end of the day, that just goes to show, regardless of how many times that you get knocked down, you stand back up even more.
Yep.
And that's just in life in general.
Yes.
I don't even relate that to business. I've had so many challenges come my way in life. Before business, probably is going to come after business, throughout my journey of being in business and actually, just living life. You're going to have obstacles. And that's what actually makes us the good-hearted people that we are at the end of the day. It makes us compassionate and be passionate towards other people and their needs because of what we've gone through as humans.
Yes, and it further develops us too.
Yeah.
It does.
It gives us that muscle that we need, and it just really just enhances our purpose too.
Agreed.
That's
I
really,
agree.
really that's
I
really.
think they say that that's one of the most important characteristics of an entrepreneur is that willingness to take a risk.
Yes.
But I want to go back to something that you said was you had to figure out how to focus on yourself and focus on others and focus on your business. So how have you found that balance, or how have you gotten a little bit better if you haven't found it yet?
I'll be honest with you. Unless somebody has some superpower, I have not mastered that. I don't think I never will, honestly, because of how much I care for others. And I always put others before myself because at the end of the day, I might not have me, but at the end of the day, God has me.
Yes.
And
right.
at the end of the day, if He gives me the strength, I can have the will to do anything that I need to do. It's not my power. It's the only things in my power is I have a saying that I always harp on. You can look at my Instagram or any of my social media that I always put on there. At the end of the day, a clean heart always wins. So regardless if you forget about yourself, if you forget what your mission is or whatever, at the end of the day, just keep that clean heart. Always make sure you're giving. In the Bible, it states that you never seen a giving person go broke.
I love
That's,
that.
that's true.
Yeah,
That is
You
very
would
true.
never see that. So
Yeah.
in my heart, I just give, regardless of how. I don't look for it to come back in return because being 31 years old and the challenges I've been through, I've been supposed to be broken. I've been supposed to be a statistic. I am a statistic, just a winning statistic.
Okay.
That's very,
right.
very rarely in our community, being a young black male in today's society.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
oh yeah, and that's why you just being here, with people seeing that. Okay, wait a minute, someone listening. I can do this. I don't have to be afraid. So let's talk about what do you? Because I believe in investing. Investing. That's what this whole podcast is about. Creating an investment mindset because we know it starts here, right, in our way of thinking. So,
Yes, ma'am.
what would you say were some of the things along your journey in terms of you investing in yourself as you embarked or your desire to be an entrepreneur? What were some of the things that you did to invest in yourself to kind of position you to kind of, explore that?
Just
journey?
investing in myself, just believing in myself, and everybody tries to put a complicated formula with this. It's really not.
Right.
It's just, I look at it this way. If the next person can do it, why can't I do it? If all these people are already doing it, what makes them any different than me? At the end of the day, we all put our pants on the same way. We all get the same equal opportunity of 24 hours in a day. So why can't I be just as successful as you in my 24 hours than your 24 hours? It's not like you guys get 36 hours and I only get 24.
That's true.
You know, we all get the same equal amount of time. So it's about justifiably putting, you know, yourself into the right positions during that time frame to be successful. And not just only successful, trying.
Yes.
I'm telling you, a
Yes.
lot that got me here was not just success, was just the willing to try.
Yes.
And when you fail, not give up on yourself. You know, when you fail, look back in the mirror and say, you know what, I didn't do it this time, but I'm going to do it the next time. Or hell, it took me 4 or 5 times to get to where I'm at. But when you fail, people don't understand this because they always just want to win. When you fail, when you finally conquer or accomplish whatever you're going for, it feels so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
It feels so
does.
much better. If you get it on the first time, you don't know the true meaning of actually accomplishing that because you haven't experienced any failure.
Right.
When you experience failure, it just is a whole nother feeling of accomplishment and, you know, excellence to whatever your craft is.
Well, and to your point, I mean, that's basically how I built my company. So I share my story with everyone. I've been in the business 18 years in real estate, and my first couple of years, I did it totally wrong. Was horrible, showed 100 houses, you know. So basically, one of the things that in starting my company in 2018, the Next Level Realty Plus, was really about how to not do what I did. You
Yes.
know, so in training agents and, you know, even educating clients and so forth, it's really based on my failures. So that's an excellent point. And, you know, so then you look back and go, it wasn't a waste of time. You know? It wasn't a waste of time. Even though at the time you're like, I really wanted to leave. I was like, I cannot keep showing 100 houses. I'm tired.
Ask yourself this, would you show 100 houses right now?
Absolutely not.
Okay, but guess what? It was a learning lesson
That's
for
right.
you at the end
That's
of the day.
right. That's why I'm
It
like,
taught you that,
yeah.
guess what? I can show 20 houses and be 10 times more productive than showing 100
That's
houses.
right. So I
So
learned
you
something
learn
from
something
that.
at the
That's
end of the
right.
day.
So it's that's the beautiful thing about the journey, right? And as we invest in ourselves, we're taking time, right? We're taking the time to go, what can I do different? You
The
know?
journey is always, you know, the most beautiful
Yes.
thing of, you
Yes.
know, being self-employed, being an entrepreneur, or regardless, it's not even about entrepreneurship. If you work in a company and you start out, if you work at a bank and you start off as a bank teller, and now, you know, you was working at a local branch throughout Charlotte, but now you're executive in downtown Charlotte. That's a journey as well.
Yeah.
So it's just not for entrepreneurs. It's just believing in yourself in general.
Yeah.
I
To-
think that's a very good point because I
wanting-
think a lot of people, they kind of go with this like, okay, that's the goal, right? And they feel like that's the be-all goal and you know, if you look and you know, what you're saying is true. Someone in their position right now and whatever they're doing, they can actually learn and progress, right? In that role that a receptionist right now,
Yes.
right, can now go, you know what? I actually want to learn how to do the accounting.
Yes.
And I'm actually, you know, happen to work in an accounting company, right? So look at the opportunity. She's invested in herself by positioning herself to be the receptionist in an accounting firm. So now she can just explore ways, and by talking to the right people, her chances of becoming, you know, working in the accounting field is that much higher.
I'm gonna tell you a prime example of just humpbacking on that, of what made me such a caring business owner and, you know, wanting to go into business and strive and be great, was actually having a job and being an unvalued, unappreciated employee.
Okay, wow.
You know, that's
Okay.
one of the things that, you know, people fail to realize is you won't even know how to operate certain things or handle certain experiences or situations when you're in business if you never gone through it. If you're a business owner and say you have 50 employees and okay, 30 employees are happy but 20 are not, you have to understand why those 20 people are not happy. That's almost damn near half of your production line
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So if you don't understand why they're not happy, if you haven't been that employee in that situation,
Yeah.
you won't know how to respond to it, because if you've always just been happy in every situation you've been in, how do you respond to understanding and being compassionate towards an employee that's disgruntled at the end of the day,
That's a
or
very
that's
good point.
unhappy and that hate coming to work every day, to actually, if you're a business owner, they're making you money
Yeah.
and the company money at the end of the day. So how do you make those people happy and understand to better their working environment daily?
And that's again, it's larger than you.
It's always
It's larger
larger.
than you. So yeah, so this is really any points that you want to share. You have a cleaning company,
Yes.
and it's been in
I've been a
business.
part of a cleaning company. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. Any tips or points or anything that you want to share with someone that is looking to take that step in entrepreneurship and invest in themselves?
When I started the cleaning company with my family, the biggest thing was just always being consistent. I remember, when I first got started, and it was just really me working, in the business, doing all the back paperwork, going out, trying to find work, and me just doing the work, working 7 days a week, some days coming home with, 40, 50 bucks, at the end of the day. I have a 04 Honda Element, and, people laugh and say, you drive that little car everywhere, but that car, I had some times in that car of, just thinking like, did I want to quit? Did I want to give up? And I just kept my head down and, stayed consistent at the end of the day. And it's going to be a breakthrough at the end of the day. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that regardless of, as long as you put the effort and you have the will, it might not come on your timing, but on God's timing, everything will come. And everything in your life happens for a reason at the end of the day. Golden Cleaning Service was built off of, just hard work, very little resources, no business loans, no capital starting with. When I started that company, my dad invested a little bit into the company, and I started with my 401k from, the city of Charlotte when I was an employee there. I think it was about $40,000 I started with. Sounds like a lot of money. Went through it in about 4 months, or less. You still have bills that you have to pay. You still have family you have to take care of. Life is still gonna life. So,
Yes.
regardless of how little or how much capital you have, just always stay consistent with working hard and focusing on what you envisioned when you went into business. What was the reason that you went into business? Some people go into business for money. Some people go into it for scheduling purposes. Some people go into it for freedom. Some people go into it, for whatever reason that they want to. But one thing I learned, I had a conversation with a good mentor of mine my first year in business, and we went to lunch. And I think I had probably about $30 in my bank account at that time. And, he was sitting there saying, I told him, I said, man, let me take you to lunch. He was doing well. He was making about $2 or $3 million a year, which he's now superseded that, and he's making probably $7 to $8 million a year. And he's doing really well in business, and I look up to him still in business. But he said, what is your goal in business? And I said, I just want to make a lot of money, and I want to make $1 million. He said, that's it? And at that point in time, I didn't realize what he meant.
Okay.
I didn't even, calculate everything in my head and say, I don't know what you're talking about. $1 million is a lot of money until you make it and you realize it's not a lot of money, in business especially. And, the biggest thing is just knowing what you're going into business for. And I think my main thing, I tell all entrepreneurs at this point and all business owners, is do it for your freedom. Do it because you're passionate about it. Do it because you care about it. Because money comes and goes.
Oh,
It does.
It's just a piece of paper.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
You can set it on fire.
Oh yeah.
You can't set your passion on fire. You can't, and it just dissolves away.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated to your craft. And one of my other biggest things is always willing to make a change. And when I say just not a change is, employing our community, making sure, that person that can't go get a big executive job anywhere downtown and that doesn't want to work in fast food but still wants to make a true, honest living and be a part of something where they feel like they're accomplished something and they see what they're accomplishing at the end of the day is, employing them and, making sure they're not working at a fast food restaurant making, $13, $14, $15 an hour slaving, which nothing's wrong with working fast food restaurant because we need them and we're thankful for them. But, they're undervalued.
Providing the opportunity,
Yeah.
which is great.
The opportunity to be able to grow, and one day maybe they can be sitting in my seat telling their story.
Yes.
How they went from maybe cleaning the building to now being a president of a big cleaning company or
Yes.
owning their own.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
You mentioned earlier that you got your first few customers from going door to door, and just listening to you, it seems like conversation, connection is like really big to you. So what advice would you have to somebody who is afraid to advocate for themselves or to go out and start their own business and tell people about their business and just promote themselves?
The biggest thing with that is just, once again, believing in yourself, believing in your craft, and you're going to have to do a lot of free stuff to be able to show that you can do it to get paid for
We
it.
know all about that.
Yes.
The funniest thing is I tell people before I left Golden Cleaning Service that when I left that company, year one, stuff that I was doing to make, $30 and $40 for, when I left that company in year 5, I was charging $2,000 and $3,000 for that I was doing for free. One of my first projects at Golden Cleaning Service was I managed a final cleaning at Chick-fil-A up Prosperity Church Road that's owned by a minority business owner, and we charged probably about $2,000, $1,900, $2,000 for that. And those same jobs now, when I left Golden Cleaning Service and passed it on to the next president, they're now charging $4,000 and $5,000 for it.
Wow.
So
amazing.
that's growth.
Yes, yes.
Being consistent with, getting started in business, knocking door to door, giving people a free trial, showing them an example of your work. You're not going to be profitable when you first start business.
Yeah.
That's the goal as you keep on building. But building clientele is one of your first steps in business. That's what keeps your doors open. That's what keeps you waking up saying you're a business owner every morning.
That's right.
So one of the things I did was just going door to door, doing work little to nothing, doing good work, asking people, hey, could you leave a review on Google? Hey, could you refer me to somebody? Hey, if you tell 3 of your friends about me, you're the 4th customer, I'll do your work for free. Just getting your name out there, building your brand, and showing that you actually do good work. Because once again, when I started Golden Cleaning Service, there were a million other cleaning companies out there that was doing the same thing, if not better work than me.
Right.
So
it's like,
it
why
wasn't-
you, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that they were choosing Golden Cleaning Service or my cleaning company. They were choosing me as a person.
That's right.
That personal relationship that I was building with them. And in business, everything is about partnership, trust, and honesty.
Yes, yes.
And speaking of building that relationship, you mentioned that you have a mentor. How was that process of finding someone who was willing to listen to you, give you advice, pour into you, and trust that you're going to actually listen and follow, their advice?
I don't think he wanted me to follow his lead because, it's all 4 of us sitting here at this table. You might do things one way, that might not work for you. Something you may do one way might not work for her. How she does it might not work for me. How I do it might be the total opposite of what all 3 of you guys are thinking. So, everybody has their own plan, but I think when people talk to you and they get to hear your vision and you lay all your eggs out on the table to them and you tell them that, hey, I'm looking up to you. It's kind of like I wasn't going to you. I need your help, but I kind of need your guidance. And when people look and can gather that you're willing to give them information and actually receive the information that they're giving to you, that at the end of the day, they know that you believe in yourself. And I think all of us at this table, if anyone comes to us and they believe in themselves, that we're willing to help them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of business, is having people that can lead you, where you're trying to get to. I'm super proud of what you're doing and what you're doing for our community, and just being a black female in the industry and killing it.
Thank you. Thank you
That's
so
that's
much.
awesome. At the end of the day, there's so many tips that regardless if I'm doing better than you or if you're doing better than me, that we can gain from each other.
Definitely
It's
learn
not a
so
competition
much
with
to
me.
learn. Yes.
And in our community, I'm just going to be honest and transparent. We compete with each other a lot. when
Yes.
at the end of the day, guess what? We can be better together.
That's right.
Exactly.
Because each of us have something that we know
Yep.
that we don't know, right?
Yeah.
And
we
we
can
all
learn from
can
each
grow
other.
and learn from each other at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I mean, if there's any tips, regardless of how well this interview is or how bad it is, I would love for you
it's
guys
fine,
to give me a tip and say, you know what, hey, when we asked you this question, you didn't answer it that way or whatever. I'd be like, you know what, I'm so sorry. Put me on episode number 6. I'm going to give you a
we'll
better
do it
answer.
again.
We'll do it
And
again.
that's what this podcast is about. It's about just being transparent, right? And really helping anyone out there that's looking to, just learn and better themselves. So we're just here, and we're so happy that you came today to share tips with us and with the viewers here. We do have a last ending question. We have a hot fire question. So let's hear it.
Okay, the question is, how do you invest in yourself if you don't have any capital?
And Charles, will let you chime in on that.
I think that's a
What do you
great question because that's a lot of challenges that, new business owners go through. And I don't think I mentioned this during this episode that I'm running for county commissioner in Mecklenburg County.
Awesome.
In District 2 here, being a Charlotte native. I think that's one of my aspirations that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. As a kid, I worked on many campaigns of elected officials throughout our community, and it's something that I'm passionate about. Once again, I went into business not only for myself but to help people. But that's one of the things on my platform is to help small businesses with initiatives to get their business up and running. That's one of the challenges that I face. Once again, Golden Cleaning Service didn't receive any business loan from the banks. I didn't have any investors that believed in me and say, hey, this guy's going to take off with this idea. Let's invest $100,000 into him. Let's invest $20,000 into him. I started off with just hard-earned money that I made at the city of Charlotte through a 401k. And thank God I was able to access that because sometimes, some business owners can't start because they don't have those resources or capital to be able to start. Right. And it's just the numbers and the disparities through different cultures show that we don't receive the equal opportunity that other ethnicities receive. It's not to make this interview sound good.
No, it's
a proven fact.
Yeah.
That if you look, Wells Fargo was denying, mortgages to black families for such a long time. That they were granting mortgages to, white families. And it's just we're put at a disadvantage from the get-go.
Yes.
So one of my initiatives is, regardless if I can accomplish it or get it done, is to always push for federal funding and local funding to help small businesses get funding to be able to start building their empires. Because why shouldn't we as a government believe in a small business? Like they give funding and corporate funding to all these big corporations that move to all these major cities. Why can't you believe in a small business that way?
That's right.
That's something I have a problem with. I think a few years ago, a few buildings below, the Charlotte government gave Chiquita Banana, they moved their headquarters from Cincinnati to Charlotte. They gave them so many $1 million. Well, why can't you invest those millions into local Charlotte businesses at the end of the day to be successful? Because guess what? Our community is going to support them. Small business is the backbone of our economy at the end of the day. And I know for sure with me, I'll give my money to a small business before I go to a big corporation, regardless if it's in the food industry, the fashion industry, or, with gym-wise or whatever. I want to put that money back into my community because I want that community that has and did pour into me the same way and gave me those opportunities that I didn't think that was possible. So
Awesome.
Me being a recipient of that, I want to distribute it as well.
I think it's amazing, and you have my vote, okay? And you have all of our votes.
Yes, same here.
I mean, it's so important, and that question really speaks to a lot of people where they're saying, okay, how do I invest in myself, or how do I start in a company when I don't have? So we have one of the solutions here, right? So and that's what this is about. It's like, okay, fine. by you conquering fear, right, and embarking on entrepreneurship and the journey allows you to kind of now start walking into other doors where you can be the agent for change.
Yes.
And that's what it sounds like you're doing, and I just think what you're doing is remarkable.
Thank you so
we want
much.
to root you on,
Thank
and
you.
anything that we
Yes.
can do to help to support you, we're here
Yes.
for you. And we really, really thank you for coming on here and sharing gems, because this is what this is about.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I hope everyone has gotten something out of this. Okay, as I always tell you guys, like and share and comment too. You know, we're here to help you guys, and we really, really look forward to this conversation, and I hope everyone took something from it. So this was awesome, and we'll see you guys for episode 6.
Yes. Cheers.
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 Cheers.